we are good to go. I've just pressed record. And, before we even begin, Satya, can you actually give a very brief intro about who you are so that the audience who will be watching this podcast would actually be able to relate to you?
Yeah, sure. I come from a animation background. That's my previous job profile. I have started Irusu, which is again is into AR and VR technologies. So in the year of 2014. So before that, I was working as a senior animation lead in one of the leading animation companies. So my background is from a 3D animation sector. So I have been into that sector for I think almost for 12 to 13 years.
Wow.
And because I've been into that corporate ladder. I've raised to corporate ladder very soon in that organization, and I used to manage around 30 to 60 odd people on a regular basis. And apart from that, I used to be the core crux of our company in terms of implementing any new pipelines into the production. I know you might be knowing about animation, right? How
Yes.
JJ's process is animation is all about, especially the 3D animation. Yes. So there are a lot of departments. So I belong to the animation departments. And being into this creative field, I always thought that being a technical person, being a computer bachelor's person, and being into creative field, I used to kind of manage both the technical and creative stuff for the company. And with that expertise and with my exposure to the clients, which company used to have all over India, I mean to say all over world, European countries, US, Australian studios. I used to interact a lot. So with that expertise, I thought, why not open my own animation studio on a small scale. So that was my idea way behind in 2008. So I started planning my things in that year. And slowly, I thought, why animation? I was picking up at that time, almost in those years, especially in the year of 2010 or 11. So I started, doing some kind of background research on augmented reality.
Yes.
And soon I started making some kind of progress in that. I thought, okay, this is pretty much exciting. I can start a company around an augmented reality. And with that, I again, maybe due to my nature of doing a lot of R&D at that time, I ended up making a 3D print. I don't know how I ended up over there, but I just ended up making a 3D printer of my own, getting all the parts from all over the world and assembling it into at my house. And I just made a 3D printer out of a RepRap model. It's a skeleton-based 3D printer kind of thing, because I was into 3D thing right
Yes.
from the beginning. So I know the stuff, how the things work normally. So with some technical knowledge, I figured out how to make that. And from there, in the year of 2014, while I was juggling between the 3D printer and the augmented reality thing, suddenly Google has come up with this Google Cardboard.
Yes.
In the year of 2014 itself.
Yes.
So they have launched Google Cardboard in the month of June out of a simple cardboard material with a pair of 2 lenses.
Yes.
So I thought that could be, that could just open the floodgates into the VR world. And what I did is, why can't I make this for my own purpose? So I thought of making a Google Cardboard. Still, I was working at my previous company, right? So I made this cardboard myself. After doing a lot of checkers around all the Hyderabad and Gujarat area, thought of getting the right kind of pair of lenses with the right kind of coefficients and all that stuff. So somehow I managed to make a Google Cardboard with my own materials.
Right.
So that's how the whole thing started for me. So I just gave you the entire journey of how I started my company. So
Beautiful.
what I did is I just registered my company as an Irusu. Irusu means it's a pivot, right? Something that revolves around.
Oh, okay.
So Irusu is a Telugu word, actually, my mother tongue language. So,
okay.
So Irusu, I just registered a company called Irusu Technologies Private Limited.
Right.
And on that, in the month of August, I sold my first VR cardboard on an OLX.
Interesting.
Yes. So, in fact, it was on August 15th on Independence Day. One of the person just saw it and wanted to buy it in Hyderabad. So that's for my first sale of the company. I still remember that.
Right.
So that's how we started. In fact, I started. So being the founder of the company. So it's a bootstrap company. Still, it's a bootstrap company. We never took any kind of investment from the any investors or venture capitalists, right? And when we started way back in 2014, now we are the largest suppliers of VR headsets in India.
Right.
In fact, we have more than 100 plus clients, right from Google, Microsoft, Star India, Nestle, Adidas, so lot many big companies.
Interesting.
Yes. So that's how our the journey of Irusu has started and how it is right now.
Wow, that is really interesting. So first of all, I did not say it. I'm really grateful that you took out the time to do this thing. I'm really grateful that you are doing this.
Sure. Nah, with my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. And second thing that I have a question in mind is that you just mentioned that, and even on Amazon, if I look at it, if I was to type VR, your name is coming out on top 3, almost always. Sometimes it's top 2 or sometimes it's also number 1. So this shows me that what your brand is working and the sales are actually going forward. Second question that I have in my mind is when you mention Microsoft, Adidas, Google. So what kind of services does Irusu provide them with?
Right. Because when we started in 2014, right?
Yes.
Not even one player was there in this sector. So we are the first VR company. So that's what we state even on our website, right? We are the first VR manufacturing company in India. So we started our journey with a simple cardboard model, and now we have expanded that into around 9 to 10 models altogether. And also we are now getting into XR lab setups also. That is altogether a different thing that we are exploring as of now with the leading universities across India.
Right.
So when we started in 2014, there were no players, right?
Right.
In fact, many of the companies who have started procuring from our end were like big companies like Future Retail.
Yes.
In the years of 2015, like Star Sports, commonflow.com. Right now it is, I think it's Quicker, right?
Yes.
So all these big companies started taking cardboards from our end. So especially the ones that are made out of cardboard.
Right.
Because they were building applications for the first time in VR. So in fact, we have built our own application. We have built an application for Star Sports, Pro Kabaddi.
Right.
So we have bundled both the hardware and the software applications to them in the 2015 itself, when no one knows about VR, right? So that's all. So it's combination of all the services, bundled packages and the headsets. Some of the clients require some kind of software assistance, which we have delivered. And also in terms of hardware, we have also delivered in huge quantities. For example, we have delivered it to Bahubali, right?
Wow.
Bahubali, we have delivered it to Pro Kabaddi, Intex Mobiles. For R&D for Nestle Sri Lanka, Nestle India. So there's a lot of sectors that we have gone into. So there's not even one sector that we haven't touched in this with our VR headsets.
Right.
Yeah.
And may I ask where is Irusu is based out of?
It's based out of Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting city. Okay, so let's actually get into the metaverse thing only itself. Now you mentioned that most of these companies bought the cardboard VR, but if we actually look at the website of irusu.com, we see a wide variety of all these headphones, VR headsets with some with our controllers, some are with headphones in it. So how did you find out that we need to make such addition to the product in itself? What was the prototyping structure like?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple, right? Any VR headset requires some kind of controller with that, right?
Yes.
So when Google made a VR headset, Google Cardboard, right? They use some kind of magnetic triggering buttons with the cardboard. So when we started doing the plastic versions of our headsets, right? We thought it was not feasible to use the magnetic clicker on that. So what we thought is we started contacting our suppliers, the main suppliers, right? Who does the original design manufacturing for us. So we told them the design changes that needs to be done on the headsets. So we have experimented a lot, right? It took around 2 years for us to get a proper prototype of connect to touch buttons, right? It's simple mechanism wherein you just touch the button at the bottom.
Yes.
With the electrostatic, from your fingers, it goes to all the way on a button that touches your screen. So it acts as a touch on the screen, right? So that's a simple mechanism that we could have accomplished with a very minimal cost to the product price. So that's why when you see our products, they're very low priced, right? Because we just wanted to keep it at a lower price, because we are supposed the ones that we are supplying to the masses, right? It's supposed to be at a reasonable prices.
Right.
And because we have seen Oculus Quest or other headsets which were coming at that time, right? Were priced at way huge prices. For example, somewhere close to 50K, 60K of that sort.
Yes.
So we thought how people will experience VR, right? No, people can just to experience something in VR, people cannot buy a 50,000 headset, right away. So this cardboard of ours or the VR headsets that we have, acts as an entry point for every VR enthusiast, right? So it acts as an entry point primarily, and it primarily depends upon not only on the headset. I mean to say the main driving force behind any mobile VR headset is the mobile phone that a user uses, right?
Okay. Yes.
Right. For example, if you have an iPhone, right, it behaves differently. Or if you have an Android mobile that doesn't have a gyroscope, it cannot work with the VR headset. So there are a lot of huge range of mobiles that were available. Okay, at that point of time when we started, it was only 3 to 4 headsets handsets that were supporting VR. But right now there are huge huge variety of mobile phones that are available that works with the VR.
Yes.
So I mean to say, because we have this huge number of mobile phones, it makes perfect sense for every VR enthusiast to just get a mobile phone based VR headset and try it on the mobile and to experience how the VR is actually can teleport them into new virtual worlds. I have seen we have developed some really good applications. For example, VR cinema, wherein you can just totally teleport into a virtual theater, right, altogether. So we have more than 3 lakh subscribers of our applications for the free version, and we have a pro version also at the same time, which is doing quite well as of now.
Interesting. So one of the things that you mentioned is that you are making your organization is making money through sale of these VR headsets, and then there is a software model in play that is through the subscription of a paid product with Cinema Pro, and there are multiple other apps that you are using that have been built. So what is the distribution is like segmentation, like hardware sales or application sales or any other business model like that? I want to know.
Still Irusu is primarily making a lot of sales through our hardware. That means 80% of our revenue comes through our hardware. Around 10 to 15% comes from our other means of sales, like software packages or building customized applications for our clients. And the remaining 5% is somewhere we are building, as I said, we are starting building up XR labs for different universities across India. So that's a new model that is coming up for us.
Interesting. So and you mentioned that in 2014, apart from Google Cardboard, nobody else was doing this thing. So what kind of challenges did you face? Because essentially you are Irusu is basically the first mover in this space, right? So what were the challenges? How did you go about prototyping the product, and how did you talk with customers? What was the feedback from customers like? Can you share that?
Yes. The main challenge was nothing inside. There was nothing that I can foresee of for this technology
Right.
at that
Right.
time. Honestly speaking, I did not see any future roadmap for this technology at that time, because hardly there were any mobiles that will support this VR. Even if they were supporting, we could count number of applications that are built on VR at that time period, right?
Right.
So for me, I thought, like, let's experiment for 6 months. Let's see where does it go. So that's one thing. There's a lot of uncertainty that that was there around this technology at that time. Okay. The second challenge was because we don't know how it will fare. I haven't hired a team.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It was me, my wife, and my relatives who were helping me with the production part, right? And me handling the overall thing, right? Even Amazon and eBay was doing great at the time. Amazon and Flipkart was just were on the blocks at that period of time in 2014, right?
Yes. Yes.
So we registered ourselves as sellers on those platforms. Certainly, we started, as I said, like, we started in the month of August in 2014, and September we registered on Amazon, and suddenly it opened up the gates for us, right?
Yes.
We started making some good amount of sales all across India. That was that was really, it's kind of what you say, it's a sweet kind of, what you say,
cherry on top.
It's not exactly the cherry on top, like, I was happy that I was getting a lot of orders. Yes. But I don't know how to do the shipping part, or know how to handle the customers, because
logistics and supply chain.
Logistics and supply chain, because Amazon was handling it at that time. See, logistics was not that of a worry. Otherwise, the people who were buying it on eBay or other channels, we were doing it through India Post or some other channels, right? So that we were doing it. But apart from that, it was the main pain in our sales was the after sales service, right? People do not know how to use a VR headset. They were just having a vague idea of, okay, there's a VR cardboard that is available on these platforms, let's buy one. So that was the motto. And once they buy it, there was no way, they don't know how to start using it. So I used to have a A4 size paper when I used to make a PDF format of how the manual should be, like, how the device should be used. Yes. So that was my first manual that I have done it on a A4 paper, right? Now it's almost everything is streamlined in a well structured manner. But at that time, that was kind of challenging things that I had to face. I used to take calls with customers for 2 hours.
Wow.
Customer for 2 hours myself, wherein I used to narrate each and every step on how to use the product, right from opening up the flap, inserting the mobile, opening up the application, and dwelling into deep into using VR applications. Not only on that, mobile phones were not supporting VR at that time. A lot of specifications were not good enough to to be used with a VR application. So all those challenges were like very new to me actually. So then I started figuring out how to streamline everything. Then I started hiring people in relevant positions, because I don't know what kind of relevant positions were required for that kind of sales that we were having at that time, because the technology was a really new thing. We're not just selling a product, right? We're not just selling a random product. It's a technology that we are selling, right? So I have to have a clear thought process on how this technology will help our end user, right?
Right.
I should be telling them what is the best value proposition for them. If they buy a product, right, what do they get out of it?
Yes.
Right? So my motto was on figuring out how to deliver that value to the customer.
Right.
So that's how we started framing our entire structure around customer centric. Entire our organization framework was designed around customer centric. What kind of challenges normal a user gets when he buys our product, right? So we started designing things around it. We started implementing our flow of user navigation on our website accordingly, like doing the stuff on the FAQs, doing the stuff on, we started making a lot of videos, YouTube videos, wherein
Okay.
we were trying to educate users. So our entire goal was just to educate the customer in the beginning, first 1 or 2 years. In fact, we are still doing it, but at least right now everything got streamlined.
Yeah.
Right? Now just you go to the YouTube and just type in Irusu Monster, you will get n number of videos, like wherein a lot of customers have done product reviews, unboxing things. But at that time, there were limited resources for us.
Yeah, for the reason behind that is actually quite simple. In 2014, we did not have a very high, fast-powered internet, and by the end of 2016, we were introduced to extremely high-speed, extremely cheap internet. That kind of changed how we view internet in India today.
Yes.
Okay, so as you had mentioned that you have thousands of customers today, right now, who are purchasing your VR headsets or using your applications that is available on Play Store or iPhone. But what is the story behind getting the first 100 customers who decided to pay you? Because the first 100 customers are key to the growth of the company. Can you share a story on that?
Yes, I think we reached first 100 customers in the first month of our sales. Yes, when we started in the month of August, we were selling somewhere around 30 to 40 units, okay. On eBay. Okay. Right. Then in the month of September, right, when we opened up in Amazon, we crossed more than 100 customers in the month of September itself. In the first month itself on Amazon, yes.
That is an exceptional.
Even I was surprised, because being a very niche product, we being still VR is a niche product, right? Still it's considered a niche product.
Yes.
But at that time it was even more kind of very niche product. No one knew about VR, but still people were buying it. So I was surprised, look, with the kind of knowledge our country people have on these technologies. Like there are a lot of, you don't believe. I used to see who are buying these headsets, and in that AR Rahman bought our headsets.
Oh.
In the year of 2014.
Wow.
He doesn't know that, but I know that because I was checking the people who are buying it, right?
Yes.
Lot many MLAs, MPs were buying from Delhi, from Parliament office. I've seen that with my eyes. So that's little kind of crazy things. But that's how things were back then.
I'm sure it must have been mind-boggling that AR
Aaron bought my headset. I used to tell it to every one of my relatives at that time.
Yeah.
See, he bought these headsets. How techy he was at that time.
Yeah, everyone would be shocked. Like he's the pro legendary singer, and then this happens. Okay, so not the first 100 customers. Like I was expecting that you will say that it took us 6 months. And we actually iterated a lot on our product, and that's how we got it. But this is completely altogether a ball game that's changed.
No one was there. It was a complete monopoly for us, for at least 6 to 8 months. When other people just tried figuring out things, and they came along, but still they couldn't survive because our main strategy was not to just sell the product, right? We were selling the technology and also the value behind the technology.
Yes.
So that was our USP when we were selling the headsets.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. So let's actually get into this thing. So your product compared to the Oculus or maybe Steam VR, these are like high-end products for who are looking to actually completely change the way.
Yes.
Your product is, your consumer is basically someone who wants to experience VR for the first time and has a budget of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 rupees. So, do you have any plans of building a very high-end VR headset in the future?
In fact, we thought of building that in the year of 2019, right?
Okay.
Wherein we have gathered a lot of resources and done a lot of R&D behind it.
Yes.
But somehow, what we thought is the time was not ripe enough at that time.
Right.
Primarily because of two reasons. One is in India, people were not ready to put more than 20K or 30K of bucks, right, on a VR headset.
Yes.
Just for a purpose of entertainment, right?
Yes.
Because still VR is considered to be of an entertainment value than of real use cases.
Yes.
I can just tell you like 1,000 use cases right now on how VR can help a person, like right in different sectors. But still, VR is considered to be an entertainment kind of thing, especially that can be used for gaming. So, so when we did the market research, right, we explored these 2 points. Like one is people were not ready to shell out 20K to 30K rupees on a device.
Yes.
Right. That is one problem. And the second thing is because the technology is evolving so fast, right? It doesn't make any sense for us to get into a production of these headsets, right? And suddenly after 1 year, we we just realize we might be realizing that okay, what happened? Suddenly the chipset which we were using 1 year back is obsolete right now and cannot be used further, right? So the technology was evolving so fast. So we thought like, okay, let's not get into that kind of game, because first thing is no one is going to buy it, and second thing is technology was evolving so fast, and because it's a very high intensive investment oriented kind of production that that is associated with those kind of headsets.
Yes.
It didn't make any kind of sense for us.
And
maybe
is there any future roadmap?
Yes, we certainly started really looking into that. But right now, if you ask me, see, there is no comparison between a mobile version VR headset and a standalone unit like Oculus Quest or HTC Vive, right? We do not want to compare ourselves with those headsets, because those are clear winners, right? And it's a complete different platform altogether, right? Because mobile based VR headset is altogether different genre.
Yes.
Right.
I agree.
And the customers and who come and buy these are of different genre, right?
Yes.
They just want to experience VR on an entry level.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Still lot many things can be done, right, with the mobile headset if their mobile is powerful enough. But with the all-in-one headset, we call it a standalone headset like Oculus Quest, right? Lot many things can be done right now. So we see when we are setting up XR labs and other stuff with the universities, okay?
Yes.
We are building some crazy combination of hardware, right? As packages which we are promoting, or I mean to say, which we are suggesting to our clients, specifically for, the universities, right? Wherein we are bundling both software and hardware packages. For example, if you are giving Oculus Quest, so we are also bundling Oculus Quest, HTC Vive Pro, Steam, HoloLens, right? Like all the MR devices, AR devices, and VR devices. And apart from that, we are also bundling up our own software on top of it, right? Wherein they can control the entire XR lab from a single place, right? So that's how, So we are developing those kind of packages for the universities, which is still in work in progress as of now.
Yes.
But mostly some of the work has been completed, and it's getting, it will be implemented soon in the coming couple of months.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. And you mentioned XR Labs a couple of times, so I have no clue what that is. Can you explain that for the audience? Right.
So XR Lab is kind of a center of excellency kind of thing, wherein universities, every university wants to build a chemical lab. They will be having chemical lab or AutoCAD kind of lab, designing labs with them. So XR Lab is on those similar lines, wherein we have this deep technology of AR, MR, and VR combined together, with different kind of devices, wherein we effectively, or we have a lot of research on these things, wherein we exactly know what kind of devices these people or universities require to train their students to get game ready in these technologies, right? So this is something most of the almost 90% of the universities in India lack this kind of XR labs. I mean, so I can just say 99% of Indian universities doesn't have an XR lab as of now, because VR is going to be the next mass medium, right? VR or AR, like we call it as combined as an XR, right? So it's a combination of it's a combination of AR, VR, and MR. So we just simply call it as XR. So XR is going to be the next mass media, right? We will be porting from traditional desktop screens or mobile screens to wearable devices. So So that will be next mass medium. And if you're not skilling our students or our next generation of employees under these mediums, right?
Yeah.
Then we'll be doing a great loss to our community, right? So with that view in mind, we thought of building up XR labs way back in 2018 itself, but somehow it couldn't materialize at that time. Because there was not much of awareness even from the schools and colleges, and they were not seeing any ROI on that. Okay, why? Because every university wants to have some kind of return on investment, right? When they set up some kind of facilities in their universities.
Precisely.
So they were not having that exact kind of knowledge on how to use these technologies for industrial purpose or for any other sector. So, but right now we are also coming up with use cases. So, so we are building up something wherein we are building industry automation kind of POCs, right?
Yeah.
We are building a training model POCs. We will be building also LMS tutorials, wherein we will be having a whole course structure on train the training models, specifically for the universities, wherein they can just LMS training modules and train the staff, and the staff in turn can train the students.
Yes.
So we are coming up with all these things around XR lab. So that is I can just that's a whole summary of what an XR lab constitutes.
Okay. Interesting. So you are actually planning to dive into more of a working professional space or learning space, right? If I can actually condense it.
Yes, it's mainly kind of skill development. You can take that as skill development thing in this sector.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will present my viewpoint here from what I have been reading upon, the mixed reality or metaverse sector itself, is that Facebook and Microsoft are looking at it from a working professional standpoint. Whereas when you look at HTC Vive or Steam VR, they are purely into gaming domain. So how would Irusu would actually position themselves in the market? Because then there is competition.
In fact, it's quite opposite actually. HTC Vive and Steam kind of VRSS are primarily used for industrial automation, right? And Oculus Quest is primarily building stuff on metaverse, specifically for social interactions and for gaming purpose, right? Okay. So if you see many of the game titles that you have seen on Oculus Quest, right?
Yes.
Recently we have seen that for the first time ever, Oculus Quest has been sold for more than 10 million units all across the world, right?
Yes.
So that's a huge boost up in this technology. People are buying Oculus Quest on a personal level, specifically for gaming purpose as of now. But that will get in turn will get converted into social social metaverse kind of thing, which Meta is working right now.
Right.
Like the Facebook is working right now. Apart from that, even Microsoft is also very serious about this metaverse kind of thing, because many of the people are using this word very loosely. There's a lot of misinformation or I mean to say illusions around this metaverse kind of technology. People are finding people are buying stuff on the metaverse, right? Virtual real estates and all that mind-boggling things, which feels kind of silly. But see, that's what. So it's under right now the metaverse is under delusional phase, right?
Okay.
Delusional phase, I mean to say, this Gartner's hype cycle, right?
Yes.
Wherein every technology goes through this cycle of hype, and then it gets into a delusional phase.
Yes.
So metaverse is going under that delusional phase right now, and soon, maybe after a couple of years, we should be seeing some real use cases surrounding this technology.
But I believe that there are certain use cases that are being used, because one use case is using drones that can be manipulated, the ones that fly, and second is in medical devices. So a lot of people, like doctors and not in India but in very high prestige institutions, medical institutions, they are now performing the surgery virtually, and then they actually go in and do the real thing.
Yes. Health sector and industrial training and industrial automation are heavily using AR and VR technologies, right? But that's not something called as metaverse. Metaverse is something totally different, right? Metaverse is something wherein uh, we teleport user to a whole new world, right?
Right.
And see, that's what we have been seeing virtual worlds on desktop from a long time. It's not something that new that has been invented as of now, right?
Yes.
But because it's getting into wearable devices like VR headsets and AR devices or MR devices,
Yes.
now metaverse has picked up this hype as of now.
Yes.
But we were having virtual worlds, no, way back. Even when I was, no, as a studying in college, no, I used to have virtual, no, see the virtual worlds. Being from a
Yes.
3D animation company, you know, I have
Yes.
seen a lot of 3D stuff myself on internet. But our real metaverse will be a totally different one. For example, I can just give an example of see what Meta is doing, right? I mean to say the Facebook as of now.
Yes.
So their intention is very simple. In fact, it's little mind-boggling or little scary also for us that in near future, Facebook will be teleporting every user of theirs to a Meta platform, that is to their
Right.
metaverse, right?
I
People
believe so
will be
too.
interacting virtually, wearing their headsets. Something that you might have seen as no, the Real Player One, the one.
Ready Player One. Ready Player
Yeah,
One.
Ready Player One. Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Real Player One is a no Avatar's application actually. So I just get confused every
Okay.
time. So
Okay.
the Ready Player One, which was no directed by Steven Spielberg, obviously.
Yes.
So it's kind of a metaverse, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's what. So you will have a lot of sensors which will be attached on top of your wearable devices.
Yes.
You can feel the pain, you can you can smell it, you can do a lot of stuff in metaverse.
Yeah.
So that is what something what metaverse offers in near future, right?
Okay.
But as of now, the real applications could be in this AR and VR technologies. I mean to say XR technologies.
Yes.
Primary one will be the digital twins, right? So you might have heard of this term, digital twins. Digital twins will be a real thing in near future. Like now, almost all the governments and major companies will be using digital twins in their day-to-day activities, right? And industrial automation and industrial training will completely get into these XR technologies.
Yes.
Nobody will train their people on real environments, and mostly the hazardous environments.
Yes.
Because the costs that are associated with those training models are like really higher. Not only it's on cost basis, even on for example, if a construction worker, right, has to work on a coal mine, right, or in some
Right.
other hazardous places, right?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense for him to train under those harsh conditions right away. So
Yes.
it makes complete sense to train them in a virtual environments.
Yes.
To get a hang of the things that will be there in the real world. So most of the training stuff will get teleported back to these virtual worlds, virtual training kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah. So these three things, like industrial automation, industrial training, and digital twins, like will transform this space in near future.
Interesting. I did not know about that in that much depth. Very interesting. So now let's look at the numbers here. So because you have all the access to the numbers of people who actually buy either through Amazon or through your own website. So what are you seeing in terms of the growth of or penetration of VR headsets, or just in general adoption of VR technology?
We are doubling our sales year on year, every year as of now. Especially from 2020, right after the pandemic, right?
Right.
We thought we might not be doing well in this sector, but somehow we picked up a lot. In fact, from last 2 years, we are doubling our numbers in terms of sales.
Yes.
And hopefully we might be doubling even for the next year also, because the demographic, by seeing the demographic value of our country, right, and and being like the age group of people who are into buying mode of these kind of devices, it's
Yes.
pretty huge. So
Yes.
even if we take that into consideration, right, we have a very positive estimation of around doubling our figures this year also. I mean, so we are
Interesting.
closing pretty fine this financial year. Like
Yes.
for the next financial year, I think we should be hitting double the numbers than what we did
Wow.
this year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let me rephrase my question a little bit. So my question was that what cities are the ones that are using your Irusu? What is the age demographic of the folks that are actually are buying from you, and
Okay.
the usage of application? Like what is the retention of your users using Irusu Cinema Pro?
Yeah. Okay. The cities, like almost all the metros were doing really great. Like I mean to say, like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Noida area, right?
Yes.
That area.
Yes.
These are the and the southern part, like Chennai part, right? No, these are the
Yes.
four main cities who takes where we get majority of our sales
Right.
from these suburbs, metro suburbs kind of thing.
Right.
And even the B towns, like for example, we cannot call it as B towns as of now, because like even the Indore or Nagpur, or you take some other places like from Kerala, right? Lot many
Yes.
cities apart from like Trivandrum and Kochi, like even from other parts of cities, people are buying it.
Yes.
So I think, but still the ratio is primarily from these five major metros.
Okay.
I mean, it's like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad kind of thing, and some of them from the West Bengal, and some of them from Gujarat, like I mean, say Ahmedabad area.
Okay.
So these are like primary 5 to 6 metros that we get a lot of sales
Right.
on all platforms. Yeah. And
Interesting.
regarding the age demographic,
Yes.
I mean to say, it's always like from between 20 to 35 to 40 age group now that buys more.
35 to 40.
No, I mean to say 20 to 35 or 40. Like I mean, so you can just take it from 20 to 40. No, that's a like almost constitutes almost major sales of ours. Like
okay,
maybe it might constitute somewhere on. If I look back at our data,
yes,
I think it was coming somewhere around the 70 to 75% in this age group.
okay,
And some old age people, like maybe even the people who are above 60 are still buying it just to experience, like primarily for the devotional things, right? There are many applications right now which have come up with the virtual reality in devotional space, right?
Like a temple, virtual temple.
Like temple, yeah, virtual temple visits, and like for example, we have supplied lot many headsets to many of the startups which are there in this space, right?
Okay.
So being in this hardware sector, gives us a hands-on hands-on information on what happening around this technology all over India.
Yes.
So almost all the companies, even right from the small scale startup to a major industrial company, they are customers of ours, right? And we, out of our curiosity, we ask our clients and customers that what is exactly that you're working on, and by seeing their information, also like client information, we get to know that what kind of sectors they are into. So there are many startups which we have worked with who are into this devotional space, where they bring in live darshans from all across India, on major for the major temples, right?
Yes.
Live darshans, live hartis. Apart from that, they also give some kind of tours around some devotional places or other tourist places. So even in that space, elderly people are buying our headsets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is something new. And what is the demarcation between male or female ratio buying these headsets?
It's primarily male dominant as of now. I think it's almost around 70%. 60 to 70% it's a male, and then it's
rest is female.
30 to 40. Yes, it's the rest is female. Yes.
Interesting. So one of the things I wanted to know is that who do you think is the major competition to Irusu as of now in the market?
As of now, if you only take into hardware, there are some couple of players who are doing pretty well, but they're not a real VR focused company, right?
Okay.
So if you take a VR focused company, us is the only hardware company in India.
Yes.
Okay. But when you combine both hardware and software, there is no competition at all in this space. There's no company which is providing both hardware and software as a bundled package to the clients. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And so let's actually
I've seen many startups, who have started, developing packages around VR. It's just primarily for education purpose, right?
Okay.
There are many startups who have built some real cool stuff, but
Yes.
they know that, but still they get headsets from our end. I cannot name the startups, but still they get the headsets from our end, rebranded with their own
white label,
their own names. Yes, yeah, white label. So yes, so we have many clients, who gets white labeled products from our end.
Interesting. That I did not know about.
Yeah.
So, so one of the things that actually is like, so when you are going to separate yourself, so what is Irusu's core proposition, your USP?
That's what. We are not just selling a product, right? Our USP is we always are at the crux of technological updates that are going around this space.
Yes.
And we sell the technology to the clients. That means if a client requires a certain kind of application, right,
Yes.
or he needs some kind of assistance on using these devices,
Yes.
right, not only on our devices, right? You take any headset, be it could be AR, MR, or VR device, right?
Yes.
We have a team, a technical team, which has expertise on these devices, and we give hands-on training or information to our clients on how to use these devices also. Right. So that's what, like, we are just not selling the products. No, we are selling the technology to the to our clients, and the consumers. And even if you see our consumer, right, we're not just selling the product, right? We are also bundling up with our own applications, right? For example, if you take VR cinema, right?
Yes.
VR cinema is like one of the widely used movie player application in the world as of now. Okay. Wow. And recently, we have totally revamped our application. We made it at a 60 fps kind of faster playback speed on our VR cinema player,
wow,
with our own proprietary plugins that we have developed in-house. And we have launched it as a Irusu VR Cinema Pro app, wherein you will get different kind of virtual environments, and
yes,
we're constantly updating those applications. Right? It's not that something we have released and we have just left it like that. So that's what. So we are bundling everything. We are trying to give value to our consumers, right?
Yes.
When they buy our headset, they will also be getting some kind of applications which will work for them right away. And
yes,
apart from that, we are also having an application called Irusu VR Zone, where we will constantly try to put in all the latest games into our library, and the user just have to just download that application, and they can see which application they can use under different genres, and they can search as per their interest, and they can install the application.
Yes, yes. So right now, like, what is the core focus for Irusu? Is it like on the B2B side, that the services that you are offering to the startups and institutions, or it's more on the B2C side of things, wherein you are focused on the end consumer using the product and the apps that Irusu develops?
Yes. So right now we are equally divided on both the things. So we have a very good B2C channel that has been established on all the major platforms, online channels, right? So we have a very strong presence over there. And apart from that, we also have a very strong clientele in B2B market, right?
So can you name any, if possible?
I have told you, right from Google to
Microsoft,
Star Sports or Nestle,
yeah,
all the big names in the company, like Microsoft, they are our clients, right? So recent developments are like, we are working with L'Oreal in different spaces. We are not limited to one sector also. Like, we are getting into health sector, we're getting into R&D, we are getting into entertainment mode of kind of things with these clients. So we have a very strong presence of B2B clientele also.
Yes.
So our business is equally divided between these two major things, like B2C and B2B. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is something new that I did not know about. So yeah,
Now, coming back to the marketing side of things, because my YouTube channel is, talks about marketing and finance most of the time. So I want to know, when you had initially launched, what was the marketing channels that you saw that you were going to delivered the most ROI? And was there any paid marketing, or was it all organic growth?
Okay. So when I started, right, alone, I was just doing the organic kind of marketing on social media platforms.
Okay.
On all the platforms. I was alone, was doing it because I was just learning at simultaneously when I was selling. Simultaneously, I was learning on how to market these products on different platforms, and later on that, when Amazon started getting onto this sponsored products thing, right? Amazon has its own channel, or Flipkart has also has its own channels.
Yes.
So then we even though we did not have a major competition at that time, right? At least maybe in later years, we started opting for these sponsored products on these channels, right? And apart from that, we also sell a lot on our website. I think, in fact, we are making around 200% of improvement year on year on our website sales because of our brand presence in this sector. So that's website sales are completely driven through our organic marketing with our in-house team. We have very good expert digital marketers at Irusu, and yes, so it's mainly it's a combination of both, right? It's organic and paid marketing. Yes.
Interesting. And what about the revenue model? So you mentioned that your website sales is growing 200% year on year.
Yes.
So and you are also sponsoring products on Amazon using the paid marketing channels. So which is bringing upon the most value home? Is it Amazon, or being the e-commerce players, or is it through your own website?
So first thing, if I have to divide, it's B2B market that brings in more revenue first for us from different clients. Okay. Then it's Amazon, then it's Flipkart, then it's our website.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So one thing that I do want to know is that, you are, so how many apps right now are a part of the roadmap that you're working on developing?
Yes. So right now, we're not building applications for consumers as of now because the market is already crowded. But what we are concentrating, as I told you, right, we are building POCs for our clients.
Right.
So when I say that, we are building things around the XR lab. Right?
Yes.
So when a client or when a university wants to adapt these XR labs into their curriculum, right?
Yes.
They have to start with some kind of use case scenarios like POCs. So we are building those POCs for the XR labs, wherein they can just directly jump into the course curriculum, right? With a certain structured curriculum that we have designed in-house after consulting with lot many startups and different universities. We have devised a curriculum for train the training models.
Yes.
So we are trying to build POCs around that right now. So our development team is totally focused on that.
So, but POCs would be for the B2B?
Yes, for the B2B. Yes, specifically because we see a lot of scope over there. Why? Because when people want to build things on XR technology, right? If you do not have skilled manpower, right? How do you build it? So first thing is we need to skill our students or the upcoming people who are interested in this technology. We have to skill them under these technologies. So our primary focus will be on that. So the right way is to approach universities with these XR labs.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I will share a personal incident that actually happened to me 2 weeks back. I was just speaking with my friends on talking about what is going to happen with the metaverse, and all these Adidas is jumping so heavily and invested their amount in metaverse. They said that right now the technology is really costly. You need to think about it from an adoption curve of how smartphones became available so cheaply in India, right? So because I believe it was OnePlus and MI that actually brought in the complete change and completely had eaten away the market. Same is going to actually happen with the likes of VR headsets. So right now, even if the cheapest Oculus from Facebook is around 35,000 rupees, Steam VR and HTC Vive are a little bit on the higher end. And then there are a couple of players who are also entering this space. So Huawei is also like experiment in this. And the price point that they have actually set for their VR 6 DOF is about $399 or $400 for one headset along with the controllers. So how do you think like Irusu will compete when the prices of such devices become extremely cheap? Do you think there will be competition?
Yes, as I said before,
Yeah.
see, we're not comparing ourselves with or want to compare ourselves with these heavyweights because the genre is totally different, right? The ones that we are selling are like for a different kind of genre of people.
Right.
Our headsets primarily serves the entry point into VR and AR technologies, and we have built applications which also demonstrates even MR also, right, on our devices, which is a combination of AR and VR, right?
Yes.
So our focus is not to compete with these Oculus or HTC Vive devices because our entire strategy is different. Our genre of people who buys our headsets is different, right?
Yes.
We want to promote or secure our place and move forward as an entry point VR headsets. Okay, right. To right now, okay. And maybe in the near future we might be getting our own devices later on. But in this space, I think we want to do much more things that can be that can be really helpful for the consumers, right?
Yes.
Not everyone can buy even now. Not everyone can buy a 30K or 50K headset.
Precisely.
To experience VR, right?
Yes.
And unless they know how to know how it will be and how a VR can how a VR can be used in their daily lives or under different use case scenarios, right?
Yes.
Unless they know the point, unless they use the devices, they won't be investing much on those high-end devices. So our brand Irusu primarily focuses on this genre of people, wherein who wants to experience VR on an entry point level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, please continue. Please continue.
Yeah. So I mean to say there is no competition at all. No, we don't want to compete with the Oculus Quest or something like that. In fact, no, we are supplying Oculus Quest because we are also distribute a lot of headsets to different universities, right?
Right.
So we are not just trying to sell a product. No, that's my main focus point all the way through.
Yes.
We are trying to promote the technology. We are trying to sell the technology.
Right.
We want to be a big part of this technology in near future. In a 360-way gamut, be it could be the applications or be it could be, for example, there could be a lot many simulators that might come in near future, right?
Yes.
Not only these headsets.
Yes.
There could be other simulators. There could be some other accessories that will come around these headsets. So we are focusing on all those devices. It's not only the headsets that we are focusing on. So it's an entire technology gamut that we are the Irusu is focusing as of now.
So Irusu has basically positioned itself as a gateway drug or gateway to VR for those who want to experience VR for the first time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Interesting. And in terms of looking at the numbers, so how much penetration has there been done in the market when it comes to VR, and how much more the market has the potential to grow?
I think we haven't touched even even 2 to 3% of the market as of now.
In India itself.
In India itself, because still there are a lot many people who doesn't know what a VR headset is and how it can be used normally, or what all they can do with their VR headsets.
Right.
So a lot of scope is there still. Lot of scope because in fact after Facebook, the Meta announced the metaverse and other things, right? Recently, they have just opened the floodgates around this technology. Right. So now people have started really thinking about what this technology is all about, and they want to experience, and they also want to be part of this technology, right?
Yes.
So there are many aspiring people who want to see and use this technology, right? So the future looks pretty bright.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what? We have actually hit our 1 hour mark on the conversation, and I don't have
Okay.
any. The conversation was so beautiful that I did not even like just check the time on my watch to see. We have been speaking for the last 1 hour, and the time just flew by.
No,
So-
generally I do not attend any podcast. I think it's my first podcast, in fact.
I'm really
with
glad. I
you.
hope
No.
you were actually able to get a good
No,
experience. with
because
this.
I just generally get away from all these things because my main focus was primarily building my company till date.
Yes. As
Only
it should
now,
be.
I just started taking out little time for all these things. Hopefully, I might be doing more posts or
Yes.
something similar to these kind of things.
Yeah, it's good for
different
content
people.
marketing. A lot of people that I have interviewed, they say that, you know what, it's good for marketing and branding of the organization. So doing podcasts actually gives them a lot of visibility. That's how it's like.
Hope so, and it's been really. I think it's been a pleasure talking with you. In fact,
Thank you.
as I said, this is my first podcast, and I don't know how I did, but hopefully
No,
hopefully I've just answered all your queries in in the right manner.
No, you absolutely did. So like, even for first time, I did not know like it was going to be really like that. And my goal with these podcasts is that I make sure that the person who has a story to tell is able to tell that story, and I just become the accelerator for that story to be, represented out there. That's how it's like.
Yeah.
So
story comes from the personal experiences, right? It's not something we weave. It's not something we weave, right? It's something that happens.
Exactly.
It's something that we just recollect everything and just present in front of people.
Exactly. 100% right. Yeah. So any closing thoughts?
I think not much, Bhuvanyu. I think so. I see. I'm a man of very few words. In fact, as I told you, I'm generally
Avoid
very
podcast.
shy of attending meetings or presenting. I'm a very lazy person, right? I do not even go for presentations. That's why I haven't taken any investment from any investors till date.
Right.
Yes, but being in the sector from last 8 years gives me a real
insight.
Joy. Yes, it gives me real joy that I have been part of something really great things that I had happened around these technologies, primarily in India, right?
Yes.
Being a first VR company and taking the company from from a 10K kind of investment that I've done in the year of 2014.
Okay.
Something which we are right now gives me that real joy inside.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so for the folks who will be listening to this podcast, please share your socials so that they can reach out to you, be it for hiring, be it for Salesforce, you're increasing.
Sure, Bhuvanyu. Yeah.
And so, yeah, that is it from me, and I'll pause recording it.
Sure.